Hello, my marvellous sausages! If you're like me and you've just gotten back into the Division 2, or you're just a player who's just starting out, you're in the same boat as me. But I asked my community, who've got thousands of hours of the Division 2 under their belt, for really useful hints and tips to help me make sense of this vast, huge game. And this is what we all came up with. Now, I picked this game back up about a year later. I got to level 10, I'd done one of the main missions, but basically I'd got completely lost as to where I was. So I've started doing, or I've nearly finished, the new Brooklyn DLC, and I'm really enjoying it. However, you start to get wonder, well, what should I do next? Because of course you've got the Brooklyn mission, which is a separate area, and then you've got the main DC area with lots of bits and bobs in it for you to do, and believe me, there's a load of stuff to do. So if you get lost, or you're just coming back in, or you don't know where the hell to go, I found that if you come here to this screen, this is the screen here, and go to progression, then it'll show you how far along you are the various bits and bobs. So you can see, like, I'm 75% of Brooklyn there. I haven't done any of Warlords of New York. There's my field research for the gunner specialization. I'll touch on those a little bit later on. And I got the main missions there as well, or the weekly invasions or whatever. Now, if you want to see exactly where we are, you can go into it like this, and then it'll show you a recommended mission that you can do next. So for the main mission progression, I need to do the Manning National Zoo, which is very useful. And then I can just basically, I can track or follow all these things, and then I can carry on where I want to go from. So this is very, very handy to find out where you are, because it's amazing how quick I get lost, yes. Now, as you play, you're going to accrue a huge amount of loot and gear and God knows what else. So what you need to do is stay on top of this as quickly as you can, otherwise it vastly gets out of hand. So you can individually get rid of certain items, okay? So you can see there, if I wanted to get rid of that one there, I can just get rid of it by holding down, what is it? I can't remember. It's the right button there, deconstruct the item. However, you can do them en masse, on bulk, just by, for here, I can hold down L2. It marks as junk. Look, and I can turn them on, turn them off, go up here, do that one. Strange, it drops down to the next one. But then, if I wanted to get rid of all of those, you can see there, I can just deconstruct the junk by pressing the R button. I'm going to do this now, perhaps I shouldn't have. And everyone's going to say, you deleted loads of stuff. But then, of course, then you get all your deconstruction results there as well. Very handy, very useful, staying on top of all your gear, because there's so much of it. Now, as you're fighting your way through the Division 2, you're going to find that you're getting used to the new gear system that we've got here. So you can see you've got 6 basic pieces. You've got your gas mask, your backpack, your gloves, your vest, your gun holstery thingy, and your knee pads. And each one of these has their own individual attributes. You can see there I've got my Nina prone pads there, and they've given me certain attributes on them as well. Look, they've got a weapon core damage. If you look at a piece of armor on the left hand side, that tells you its core attribute increase. So this one, it's got the red circle on it, which means that it's the weapon damage increase. And then we have a little look closer, and it gives me 8.4% weapon damage there. Okay, you can have different types there. You've got the red there, which is the weapon damage. You've got the blue, which is an armor core attribute, which increases your armor, and then you got the yellow one, which is your skill tier there as well, which increases your skill tier, which is, you know, the use of your drones and your little mines and all the cool little gadgets that you've got. Next then, on the pieces of armor, if you have a look at the far right hand side, you can see you've got 2 smaller icons. Now these represent smaller attributes. So I'm having a look at this Fenris group AB here. You can see I've got 2 red circles, and we have a little look over to the right hand side. It says attributes. It gives me an extra 4.9% headshot damage and 4.5% weapon handling. So you can see here where the basis of your build crafting, once you get further down the line, starts coming in. If you want to build into weapon damage, you're looking for reds. If you want to build into armor, you build into blue. And if you want to build into your skills, you build into the yellow. So at a glance, you can see what armor set gives you what augment. Now, aside from these core boosts that you can see here, you can also get boosts from wearing more than one type of armor. So, for example, here you can see I'm looking at this gold piece of armor here, the Fenris Group AB. If I click on that, look, and it'll tell you at the top there, if I wear one piece of this armor set, which I've currently got on, it'll increase my assault rifle damage by 10%. If I wear 2 pieces, so that's, for example, if I had the same type and I stuck on my vest there, then if I wore 2 of those, then it would give me a 30% reload speed, and if I wore 3 of the same type, it would give me 50% stability. So you can start to see then again how you can build into different areas. Now the colours of the armour do delineate what they are. So the lowest I've got here at the moment are the purples, then it goes up through the golds here as well, and then what I've got for my top marks here are my green ones. Now why the green are top marks is because they've got something called like an extra talent on them. Okay, so you can see here, that's a Strikers battle set there, but I've got this Aces and Eights set which I started farming for the other day. Now you can see there, if I wear 4+ pieces, not only do I get all those extra boosts to marksman rifle damage, headshot damage, once I've got 4 pieces on, it activates this really cool little exotic talent, I suppose you could call it. Call it, I mean. So you've got a little cool little like poker game going on, and after 5 cards are flipped, so when I get cards that get flipped once I make shots with my rifle or my marksman rifle, after 5 cards are flipped, so that's 5 shots, the damage of your next shot is amplified by 30%, and the more shots are enhanced, the better the hand reveals. So I get a 4 of a kind, I get 4 shots with that amplified 30% damage, and so on. So you can see there we've got that extra trait to bear in mind. So I've got the Strikers battle gear here. Now this is something that I'm farming for at the moment. I've only got 2 pieces to drop at the moment, but the reason why I want it, look, and you look through all the build guides, because I'm still new to this and I'm just trying to find my way through what's the best thing to get through some of the higher level stuff. Well, the Striker set is very good because you've got the 2 pieces of 15% weapon handling, 3 pieces 15% rate of fire, but then with the 4 pieces you've got the Striker's Gamble. Weapon hits increase total weapon damage by 0.65%, but this stacks up to 100 times, which is utterly ridiculous. So that's going to be a big damage dealer, and it's probably the main reason why people do go for this Striker's set. So that's what I'm looking for at the moment. But I hear you cry, how do I know where to go to get particular armor sets? Well, you can do this by checking out the map. So if you come to the map here, you can see on the bottom corner of the screen there, you've got your different options: set waypoint, center on the player, call for backup, la 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 la. But you've got one there that says show targeted loot. So this means once we press up there, look, it shows you what type of loot drops from which particular area. So for example, my eye's drawn over here to this. These are, what's this one? This is the ongoing directive loot set. So if I did any of the activities in here, like the control point, for example, I'm going to get a higher chance of getting that ongoing directive stuff to drop. So if that's what I was collecting, the green gear there, then that's what I would be getting there, which is very nice indeed. You can also see as well, we've got different ones too. What's this one here? This is the Heraldi Holdings. This one is Murakami Industries. This one is Walker Harrison Co. So you can see there, I've been getting some of the some of my exotic pieces, not exotic, the gold pieces. That's interesting. Again, over here we've got Hotshot too. So as we go around the map, you can see the different foundries or different companies where you're going to get them from. Now, however, remember, these rotate, so they're going to change on a daily basis. You've got to keep an eye out for you looking for something that you're after. But I would recommend that once you find something that you're looking for, one particular piece of armor, I'd go and farm it until you've got at least the 4 that you need to activate the exotic trait. Do you see what I mean? Now, you do also have, aside from the particular houses, I suppose you'd call it, I don't know what you call it, bloody companies, you've also got weapon types, look. So there, gloves will drop. Do you see what I mean? But it's worth noting that the gloves have a bigger loot pool because there's more types of gloves than there are types of armor from one particular company, because you've got the 6 pieces, haven't you? So you've got a choice of 6 pieces to drop there. Whereas if you're after, let's say you were after that hotshot armor here, if you were after that there, you've got all the other foundries gloves dropping as well. So it's a wider loot pool. So the best thing to do is, if you're going for one particular set, target farm a named set in a named area like that, so you know what you're going to get. Because I probably find that you're at the whim of RNG, which of course ain't much fun at all. Now, there is another way to target farm as well if you wanted to do it. We've got this game mode up here called Countdown. So Countdown, it's like a big skyscraper. It's kind of like Die Hard in Division 2, and you're going up the various levels of the skyscraper. But what's good about this is that you can select your targeted loot, look. Okay, so these are all the things that you can select. So you can select your normal stuff. But down here, and like I say, I'm going for the striker sites. So I've targeted the striker's battle gear. And then every so often, when you complete a certain amount of floors, you will get one of these pieces drop into your inventory. I went up to floor 6 just to see how it all worked. And when I had, then I go to my inventory there, look, and let me show you. I think I had a backpack drop there. So there we go. There's my striker's battle gear. I can put that in there. And you saw I also had the knee pads drop as well. Look. So that was up to level 6. So I did get those pretty quickly. So what's really nice about this game is that you can target farm certain pieces to complete your sets. And that gives a big thumbs up for me. It's excellent. Now here's a quick tip for you. If you're playing solo a lot, which I do tend to do, particularly as I'm going through the stories and stuff and getting used to all the different bits and bobs in the game, because it's so huge. Well, anyway, I found this incredibly useful. Now this is the Hive skill. You know, you've got turret, pulse, smart cover and all that. Well, the Hive one has got a setting on it in the center there called Reviver. Now what this means is that if you get downed or killed during a mission, rather than resetting and going back to the start or back to the area that you're in, it'll actually revive you on the spot so you can continue. It'll do it automatically as well. You won't actually have to activate it or deploy it. This comes in very, very handy when you're playing solo, because you know what it's like. If we're restarting things all the time, it can get very, very frustrating. Bit of a warning though, there are timer cooldowns on it. So it's about 3 minutes or so in between each timer revive. So try and make sure once you get revived, go and get to cover and heal yourself as much as possible, because if you go down again pretty much quickly straight afterwards, you're buggered, and then you'll have to go through all the respawning malarkey too. So that's a great thing to have. I highly recommend it. Now if you find yourself coming to do one of these control points, which are very, very handy, look at that idiot, which are very, very handy to do to get yourself some nice loot that are littered all over the map. Don't forget, when you come on in and you're playing this solo, you've got the option there to call nearby allies. Now, this doesn't call in actual players, it calls in like NPCs to help you. And you shoot the little thing in the air, and then they start coming into the particular area. It takes them a little while to arrive. But there we go, we've got friendly reinforcements inbound. They're 170 meters away, so they're jogging lightly towards us to help us. But that's a really handy thing to have if you're looking to do these on your own some. Because these do give you some really nice loot as well, the control points, and I would heartily recommend you doing them. Here they come, look, thank you fellows, a lovely big help they are, yes. Now, of course, in the Division, you've got red barrel syndrome everywhere. Not only do you have them strewn all around the place, you can see one hidden behind there, but you can also see these gits got them slung on behind their backs there. One quick shot with them, once you see them pop like that, they're going to blow up and die. It's very, very useful, particularly on some of the bosses as well. You can shoot those off their backs and gives them a nice bit of damage. So when you've got some of these heavier units, it's well worth checking out some sort of explosive thing about their person that you can sort out. Yes, lovely. Something I always keep on missing is this. Here, look, you can see it's basically the rewards. You come to your inventory screen and you go in here. They're field proficiency caches. Look at all these ones I haven't opened up yet. So you kind of accrue these as you do missions and things. And if you don't forget to come in here, or rather, if you do forget to come in here, you're going to miss out on loads of goodies. So there we go, loads of goodies there. Ooh, some nice stuff there, lovely. Ooh, and a bonus, we've got a Tommy gun, that's cool. Combat in the Division, what you really need to get your head around is that it's a bit more tactical than just piling in and shooting things to death, which is what I like to do normally. So what you've got to take into account is the cover system. So you can see you've got X appearing everywhere whenever you've got somewhere to hide behind. And then you run to that cover, okay? What are they throwing over there? Right. Oh, look, they're attacking that patrol. Now then, if you wanted to run over to that bit of cover over there, you don't tap X. Because if I just tapped X, he'd just come out of cover there like that. Look, and go back down. What you have to do is hold X. And as the gauge fills, you can see then he's going to follow that line and sneak to that next place. So make sure you're not tapping X to go to each individual bit of cover. Hold it down like this, look. And then as you can see the bar growing up, you know you're there once you've reached the full amount. That's very useful in the heat of battle, because you can find yourself being totally and utterly overwhelmed and running and gunning. You have to build into that, really, rather than just doing it from the bat. So don't forget, take as much cover as possible. Yes. Another thing to consider when you're dashing from cover to cover is watch out going next to the red things, because you can see here we've got a gas bottle there, we've got a petrol thing there. All of these explode and cause lots of pain. So make sure that if you are cowering behind some kind of protective plinth, that you've got nothing explodey-wodey next to you, because it could cause you a lot of severe damage. Yes. If you like the fashion game in Division 2, don't forget to check as many things as you and loot as many things as you possibly can. I just picked this baby up here, look, this tank top that was hidden in that briefcase there. Make sure if you can see it highlighted, loot it. You never know what you're going to find. They've got some components there too. They've got like an orange glow on them. Sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to see, but it's like a computery LED outline, which will allow you to know that it's searchable. Another little interesting tippage. Now, I got to level 40 by getting the new DLC, which left me kind of going, what? And all the new things that opened up, because by going to level 40, you just kind of go straight into the end game. So, first of all, my recommendation is play all the main stories through first, so you kind of know what's going on, who all the main players are, and how the mechanics of the game work. Don't be like me and rush straight in. However, getting to the end game, though, still kind of results in a similar kind of thing, really. And we've got something here, first of all, called Specializations. Now, if you have a little look at the Specializations, I didn't even realise how any of these worked, because I've got Demolitionist there, and I had a multi-shot grenade launcher. And I wondered, how can I get different? Well, I suppose it's power weapons. Well, these are all tied to these, what do they call them again? Specializations, yes. So I've got the multi-shot grenade launcher there, which is on the Demolitionist skill tree, I suppose you could call it. We've got Survivalist, which is a crossbow, and then you've got Sharpshooter, which of course is a sniper rifle. Now you've got points, you can see there I've got points that have been accrued for each one of these different specializations. We've got Technician there, which I haven't even started yet. You've got to press triangle to get started, and then you have to work your way through to unlock all the different bits and bobs on it, okay? But if you go closely into them, look, it's got its own skill tree. So you can see here I've got 165 points that I need to spend, and I can do their artillery. The artillery turret launches ordnance at nearby targeted locations. Or what else do we have here? We've got the fragmentation grenade deals damage and causes targets to bleed. Excellent. What have we got? Explosive ordnance, 3% increased explosives damage. So you can see here we've got lots and lots of little things that we can unlock, and that's just in the Demolitionist skill tree. We can go over to the Survivalist skill tree and let's have a little look at that, and it'll show you what you can get there. I really like these guys, the Seeker mines that roll across the floor. I like them quite a lot, so I'm considering actually maybe doing this. And I've heard good things about the crossbow too. Now you can only have one of them activated at any particular time, and then when you do earn points by completing tasks and missions and activities and so on, it only accumulates within the one that you've got activated. So I've got Demolitionist activated there. It'll only accumulate my 165. You can see those that'll accumulate when I've got that active. If I was doing Survivalist, the same would apply. So bear all of that in mind. Now, of course, I'm not going into this in depth because mainly I've yet to discover the joys of it all myself, but it's well worth being aware of these, because once you've hit that level 40, all this kind of stuff will open up for you. Now, with each specialization comes as well an extra grenade. So I can see here I've just decided to change and go to Survivalist. I've never used it before. I've just put some points into it, so I've got 15 left to spend. But you can see there, look, I've got an incendiary grenade there as well, okay? So you've always got a concussion grenade on you, and which you can use, but then you can flick to your Specializations grenade in order to bung that one. So let's go and have a little look and see how this works. So you can see here, look, I've got my normal 8 concussion grenades there, but then if I hold down left on the joypad, I can then see, like, I've got incendiary grenades there, and I'm just using the actual control stick just to change them over. Look, so there's my concussion grenades, there's my incendiary grenades, and these are then to do with, of course, my particular speciality, or my specialization rather. So let's see if we can chuck some of these at these guys. Are they nice? I don't know. Let's kill them, find out. Look out, everyone. Hardy har. Ah, that was a concussion grenade. I can't even do it right. Hang on. Let's go and find a thingy grenade to do. Hang on a minute. Let's change that to that. Right. X selects it then. Let's try again. Incendiary grenade and badoomph. Will it get him quick? He's going to panic and... Ah, although he is on fire though, which is nice, yes. So don't forget to take advantage of the different grenades that you've got. Now, when you see gits drop things out in the world, you've got an idea of what kind of level it is because of the colour of the glow there. So we can see here, look, it's a green glow here. So let's go and have a little look at it. And look, yes, there we go. We've got some green right combat vest there and some gold offensive system dexterity. You can examine it all and have a little look at what you've got. So that's pretty cool. That's a green set there. That's well worth having. And that's a gear mod there as well. Now, these you can install into your weapons. I'll show you that briefly in a moment. But so yes, you've got a rough idea of whether or not you're going to really want what's there. But to be perfectly honest, as you start, I'm looting and taking it all just, you know, to build up my reserves. Now, so I mentioned mods there, and you can see these little squares that are underneath each of the weapons. Now, this is the weapon I've been using for ages. I'm sure I need to start upgrading it, but I'm stuck using this one at the moment because I like it. Now, it's called a relic. It's a marksman rifle. That's something that I particularly do like using. But you can see there, look, we've got a square that says mod at the bottom of the screen. So you press square, and then you can go in and you can change various aspects of each weapon. The amount of things you can change depends on the weapon. So, for example, my marksman rifle, look, I can change my scope there. Hang on. Where is it? There. I can change my scope there if I wanted to, and it shows you what that actually does when you change it. I can change the magazine. Sorry, there's the magazine down there, look, so I can get extra headshot damage there. And then what's this one here? I got the short grip, which gives me 10% of my critical hits. And then you got the muzzle there, which gives me a compensator, which gives me 30% stability. Plus, as well, you've got the ability to change the skin on it, really. So I've got the canvas skin there, but there's rabbit, estuary, or whatever it is that you want. So when you can come in here, you can change quite a lot in regard to the capabilities of your weapons. Now, it's not only the weapons you can stick mods on, it's some of the armor as well. So let's have a little look here. I'm by my mask. I'm going to go into the mods of the mask there. You can see, look, I got two circular things, which are, I suppose you could say, they're cosmetics. I can change the appearance. I can take on the appearance of some other piece of kit if I wanted to. That's just going to confuse me at this stage. I can change the dye there, which I don't have any dye, so I can't do that. But there's a square slot there as well, and that's where you can stick in a gear mod. Now, you saw that I earned a gear mod just now from a drop in the world, and the gear mods there can basically augment whatever it is you're building into. So headshot damage, when I do use my marksman rifle and go for headshots quite a lot, so maybe this would be worth me sticking it in there. And there we go, I've equipped that then into my face mask. Same goes here for my backpack. What have we got here? Anything exciting? I can go in modding it in there, and we can see any square ones. I can't actually. Oh, there we are. There's a square one over there. Look, I can stick a gear mod in here. I haven't done this one either. Let's stick in my other. Now that one, you can see I've already got it in. That little link icon in the corner means it's already in something. So maybe we'll put a different one in here. Let's see what we've got. I don't know. Let's just shove another critical hit chance in there. There we go. Excellent. And that's how you do that. So make sure you mod up the weapons that you're using. But just remember, of course, as you're coming up through the story, you're going to be changing this stuff out so fast that it's not going to be until you kind of hit level 40 you start deciding on how you want to play and the kind of weapons that you like to use. You're going to start niching down on those. So don't worry about it too much when you're just starting through, but when you kind of get to the end game, or when you've got all the end game stuff opening up, that's when you want to start thinking about this kind of stuff. But if you've got them, why not stick them in? It makes life a lot easier. Now, talking of stuff opening up, you've also got this thing here, which is it your Shade Watch, I believe it's called. Now, what this does means you can stick points into various attributes, and you just earn points as you're doing missions. So you unlock these as you're going. So you've got the offensive capability up there, defensive, handling, utility, and then scavenging. Okay, so you can see I've got 1 point that I can spend here now in my defensive skill tree. So just go in there, and I can pick one of these attributes to add that point to. So what I'm currently doing is, look, I'm putting up my what's this one? It's my total health. So I can add my point there, and then I can confirm, bang, and then my health goes up by a very small amount. Now, these can be upgraded. You can see, look, it's out of 50, that's out of 50, 50. So there's loads of points that you need to stick on and attribute. So this is something that's a big end game chase, really. And you can get so many points for your watches here, because you can look at mine there, I'm only on level 17. I've seen apparently people on their level 15,000, or they got 15,000 points they spent on their watches. Craziness. So this is definitely one of the main end game pursuits. But I just thought I'd let that know. It's well worth sticking the things in. Do you know what I mean? So for example, I'm on my offensive there, I'm just doing my firepower up a little bit. My weapon damage, each time I get a point for that, I'll stick it in there. Very, very handy, and it all goes to making you more of a deadly killing machine. I really want to thank my community during that stream for coming up with all these really cool tips and hints for beginning players. Thank you so much, everybody. It really is appreciated. We've got a really good thing going here. Thank you so much for all of your support. It really is appreciated. Now, I've barely scratched the surface of what we've got in the Division 2, not to mention mods, the Tinker Station, building weapons. There is so much more to go through, but it's all quite overwhelming, and I'm waiting to kind of get into that myself. So if you like this guide and you want me to do another one, which is a kind of a more intermediary guide as I go on, I would love to know in the comments, and let us know any of your beginners, hints and tips that you think people will find very, very useful, because everybody loves reading all the comments, see, innit? Anyway, folks, don't forget, give me a like and subscribe if you want to see some more Division stuff, because I will be doing more of this game as time goes on. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall speak to you all again very soon. A sausage.